I asked 10 small streamers, is water wet? Here's a compilation of what they said.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Remedy Rain asks, is water wet? It's like a question that an annoying little kid would ask. I guess that's his sense of humor. That's my best guess about that sort of thing.
Water isn't wet. It's water. We get wet because we're dry. Wet describes us, not fucking water.
Is water wet? Please give me your reasoning. Okay, dumb, deep question. Let me think about this. No, water has a. It makes you wet. Yes, it has. It's yes, that would have to be my stance on the action.
Is water wet? Well, it's not dry. And if it's not dry, then it's wet. What do you think of that? What do you think of that answer? I think hard about everything. Because I'm just a hard guy. Never heard that one before? Kinda makes sense. Yeah, I'm like the equivalent of Plato. I'm like a modern day Plato. How are you this fine morning, Pookie? I'm doing so good. I haven't slept yet. But yeah, I'm doing good. I got coconut water. That's wet. Alright, so Remedy, do you just ask the question but like you don't like debate it? I was kind of hoping for a water is wet debate. Here's my take. Wet means when something is covered in water, but water cannot be covered in water because there's no difference in materials. Therefore, water isn't wet. But what if there's water on the water? Because each water molecule is resting on top of another water molecule. Right? So wouldn't that make water wet because water is touching water? It's like so much easier for me to debate. Because I'm like, okay, you win. Fuck yeah, dude. Well. Also, wet is subjective to what is touching it. So when I touch a towel, it's wet because it has water in it. And when I touch water, it's wet because it's like, it makes my hand wet. And a wet thing makes my hand wet as well. So it's like, if something makes my hand wet, doesn't it make it wet as well? Okay, no. I'll stop. You've activated my autism. My autism has been activated.
Is water wet? Please give me your reasoning. Either... Yes and no. That seems like a fair answer. Is water wet?
Is water wet? Is water wet? Yeah, water is wet. Because it's water.
Hey, take my gun.
Should be understandable.
Is water wet? Well, see, the definition of wet here. Covered or saturated with water or another liquid. So, is water covered in water? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Therefore, water is wet. I don't know why people would say it's not wet.
Is water wet? Please give me your reasoning. That is such a trick question. It depends. Like, I feel like if it's like saying if I went swimming, if I'm not fully submerged, I'm wet. But if I'm fully submerged in the water, I'm dry. So I could say, yeah, water is wet. But if you're fully submerged in water, no, you're not wet. You're dry. And I know there's like a whole scientific reason behind it, but I have no clue how to explain that.
Is water wet? No, because I don't feel wet when I'm underwater. No, I don't feel, when I'm underwater, I don't feel wet.
Is water wet? Please give me your reasoning. You know what? Water is
What do you
not
get?
wet. It makes things wet because it isn't. Water by itself, the molecules and stuff like that. Like there's.
If you say something stupid,
makes
it's getting
properties.
clipped.
It makes properties. No, water is not wet. Okay. If you think water is wet, there's something called aerated water. Basically, not wet water. And not wet water, but you know what I mean. Not like in liquid form, and so it can't make things wet. Therefore, by default, water itself, if you're talking about water, will not be able to do that because it's not wet at that point either. Like even by the most like what's it called? Even by like the people who say water is wet, when they say like, oh, dude, I don't know how to describe it. Water's not wet. There you go. That's my answer.
Thanks so much for watching. All of the streamers will be linked down below, as well as my own Twitch channel. Make sure to check that out. Have a nice day. Bye bye.